on YouTube in advance just to make sure that
it's not live, so we need to.
Yeah, now whichever things you want to say, no politics, no sex, no.
It's better to be live than dead. How about that?
Yes, we are live 3 minutes before we start, so we can start sharp at 4 o'clock.
Wow, we are on time.
Yeah. 3 minutes, 2 minutes. 2
Yeah,
minutes to start.
2 minutes.
And I'm sure others would join. I always say that they joined by a bus. All of a sudden, you see.
Yes.
Yeah. DTM Khalid, you were there at that area contest yesterday, right?
Please don't mention it. This is my address.
And it's live.
Okay, I better not.
Yeah, it was really marvelous. I've been thinking of it whole day last night.
I was actually referring to your comment about the bus, people arriving by bus. There was something to that effect at the contest yesterday.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That we need to off record because now it's recording.
Exactly. DTM Basha, it must be, what time is it for you, ma'am? Very early in the morning, right?
It's going on 8 a.m.
Okay.
So it's not too early, but I have gotten to be sleeping in later and later recently.
That seems to be a common problem with all these Zoom meetings, I guess.
Also, it's a weekend, I think, for them.
Interestingly, DTM Basha is there from 7:30 onwards, waiting for you all.
Oh, wow. Well, I'll blame the Region 11 advisor. I was in a region closing, I don't know, training, mid-year training closing or something. But yeah, I mean, Toastmaster Bitambaran is always, he even beats me always. So
he's the man who spent a night all alone on an island. So he's just happy to be around people.
Is it Castaway you're talking about now?
Yeah, Castaway, literally Castaway. That was his speech, remember? Memorable speech that was.
Oh, yeah.
On the rock, near the rock.
On the rock.
Walaikum salam.
Assalamualaikum, our moderator. Welcome.
I think
welcome. How are you?
It is 4 o'clock now, so maybe we can start. We have all of the role players. So I'll leave it to you, Toastmaster Vidar.
Yeah, apology for the delay, this simple delay. It's
absolutely not. You're right on time, ma'am.
I'm done. Thank you very much. I'm always punctual. Well,
absolutely.
It's 4 o'clock now. Let's get started. And good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone all over the world. Our fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Adopting the Toastmasters Club mission in general, that we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. We, as Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club, are proud to introduce our 7th webinar of series of All This Gold. The Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club is the first advanced club in the Middle East, established in 2007. And we have this event, this international event that we are proud being also the first to introduce it as webinars. This 7th webinar, it happens once, All This Gold happens once in the first Saturday of each month. And the aim of it is, and we are proud that we share experiences from different speakers. And we brought these webinars to you by Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club again to strengthen and reinforce best practice in public speaking and leadership skills as well. Today we will have 3 speakers, and the speakers are Toastmaster Taiba Mahmoud, our distinguished Toastmaster Samira Khan, and our distinguished Toastmaster Basha Makram. I hope I spelled their names, pronounced their names properly. And we have our timer, Toastmaster Farouk. You are ready with us. I hope everyone can see you very well. And shortly, I leave the floor now to the president of the Advanced Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Khaled Abdullah.
Is it with me or shortly? Because you said shortly.
Shortly? Okay, I'll introduce you first.
Okay, I'll wait. I'm
okay.
not in a hurry.
Yeah, okay. So, distinguished Toastmaster Khaled Abdullah is District 20 Club Growth Director for the term 2020-2021, immediate past Division Director, President of Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club, immediate past President of Babco Toastmaster Club, immediate past President of St. Paul Toastmasters Club, Secretary of Active Minds Toastmaster Club. His purpose in life is to lead his kids by a good example of a father to be followed, and that's why he is a Toastmaster. Let's all welcome Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Khaled Abdullah with an applause. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Widad, our immediate past Region 11 advisor, DTM Ali Shahbaz Ali, current District 38 Director, DTM Basha, and although she is not yet a Toastmaster, but I think she deserves also recognition, Dr. Sandu, and all of the leaders around. Oh, I can see as well the club retention chair, CGD retention chair, Toastmaster Manjula. Good afternoon to one and all. It gives me an immense pleasure to be the president of this great club, Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster Club. Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster Club is the first advanced club in the Middle East and the region 11. So I'm sure all of the members here are really proud of being a member of this club. Usually before I start the address, I welcome the guest. But I think I learned from my mistake. The last OIG, I asked one of the guests to introduce himself. And then because they come by bus, so I spent the last maybe 10 minutes just introducing guests. So excuse me, our guests, you are definitely in our heart. We would definitely leave for you something to say toward the end of the meeting. OIG, old is gold, is something that is now branded by Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster Club. This is the 7th session. It started with humble idea to have members, to showcase members of our own club, because we have many members, so much breadth of knowledge within this club. So we said, okay, let's just take the manuals, the forgotten manual of the club success series and the leadership series, and just try to revive them, and with our own flavor of experience. Then all of a sudden, this became a global platform where we have requests from outsiders as well to be speakers in this OIG. So this is the brand right now of Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster Club. If I may want to say something, DTM Farhaz was about to say the thing that I want to say now. I would love to remind you of one word as Toastmasters: compassion. As a club growth director, you know that we are heading toward the April renewal. And if there is something that is keeping me awake at night, is the April renewal. But last night, I was confronted with something that would stay with me for very long. While in an area contest, there was one of the contestants who came in. She had some technical difficulties at the beginning. And after some time of fixing her technical difficulties, she started her speech And right in the middle, I'm not sure if it was the technical difficulty she had or maybe something else, but she stopped and she said, well, sorry, I cannot continue. Can I repeat? Well, the chief judge by then is also a member of this club, a senior member of this club and a senior member of Bahrain as well, Toastmasters, DTM Ahmed Rizvi. And for those who knows DTM Ahmed Rizvi, he took a while to respond, but I was waiting. I was really worried about what he would say because we know that DTM Ahmed Rizvi goes by the book. So, and we know what the book says. She cannot repeat whatever she was saying, so she has to continue. But what I admired about DTM Ahmed Rizvi is regardless of what the book says, compassion came into his rescue. And he said, well, fine, due to your technical difficulty you had, let's just do it again. So the lady or the contestant had the chance to repeat her speech. And right in the middle as well, she says, apologize, sorry, I cannot continue. And she switched her camera and left the contest. Now we had to move on. We had to move on with the second contestant. But I'm sure all of us been there one time or the other. We all felt that we are failing. We cannot maybe continue. And this is it. I can't continue. So let me just take another route or another path. Toward the end of the contest, I was given an address and I was lucky to have a chance to speak. So I spoke and I said, if there is something that we have to really talk about the contest today is that contestant, is showing respect to the contestant. And I went on and on for her, and good that one of the contestants as well asked her to come back. So she came back. I repeated whatever I said about her in front of her, and I congratulate her for her courage to come back and stand in front of us. And we gave her standing ovation. And we told her that we would be waiting for her in the next year contest, an area contest for next year. I felt happy that we managed to do something for her. I'm not sure what damage, to be honest, she had within her, but compassion is what we really need to be right now. If all of the leadership aspects that we have as Toastmasters, this is the thing that we need to have for us to continue as Toastmasters. Let's not call members asking for renewals. Let's call members asking about them and what goes into their world before we ask them to continue, because that's what we need to have at this moment of time, compassion. Thank you so much all for being here, and let's now enjoy our program today. We have 3 eager speakers who are about to impress us with whatever they would say, and I have no doubt in their abilities and their compassion. But before we move on, let me flip the table, as I always do, for the Master of Ceremony. What can I say about the Master of Ceremony? Toastmaster Widad. She introduced me, so now my chance to introduce her. Well, Toastmaster Widad is one of, she's not anymore the newest member. We have 2 new members that came after her, and I can see one of them also smiling, the timer Toastmaster Farouk. But she came all the way from Lebanon. She came with persistence, with determination to make an impact in this club, and I really admire her. Today, this is her first time to take an MC role, but you can see from the determination, eagerness to make a difference. You can see her here, and this is the least we can expect out of Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster members. We are so proud of you, Toastmaster Widad. Please help me welcome our Master of Ceremonies today, Toastmaster Widad.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm pleased to be a member of Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster, as being not the newest now. I've been here as Toastmaster for the 6th month now, and I'm proud to be with you again. And I'm proud that you're giving me the chance to share with you whenever there is a chance for me to participate by the Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters always supports me, and I receive lots of things that encourage me and help me in my persistence and achieving my goal. So you started talking about compassion, and today our first speaker is about mental wellness. So I think someone is introducing us. Hope you can hear me well. So we're going to move from, okay, so I'm still audible for you?
Yes, you are okay.
Okay, I thought I have a connection problem. So now and today we're going to move from mental wellness, as we said before, to living up your club meetings to fun meetings. So let's start with compassion, as you talked, and I wonder where you bring always the suitable introductions for the suitable topics. And our Toastmaster Taiba Mahmoud, she's a YouTuber, a bibliophile, I hope I say it well, and mental wellness practitioner exploring best of mental wellness practices from East to West. We are proud to welcome her today with us in All This Gold. She's bringing also her experience, her notes about mental wellness to us, and her compassion with us as she's sharing with us. And I'm wondering, as also as mental health psychosocial supporter, what she's going to present to us, especially now with the COVID-19 all over the world, what kind of mental wellness we all need staying at home, not having our connections as usual, not having our daily life as usual. So I leave it to you, Toastmaster Taiba Mahmoud, to tell us what you want to share us about your experience and what we need in mental wellness. But before I leave the floor for you, please recognize that you have to pin the timer. Please, timer, can you see him, Toastmaster
Yeah,
Taiba
I have
Mahmoud?
pinned him already.
You've already pinned him. So the floor is yours. Please all welcome Toastmaster Taiba Mahmoud.
Toastmaster Widad, do you want to have the timer just explain the timing before we move on?
Yeah, I thought we are Toastmasters, we know it. So, okay, please, thank you for reminding me. I thought we are advanced and those who share us are also advanced. So. Okay, this
because
is
you are on
one
time,
of the...
you believe everybody to be on time also.
Yes, I make problem. I know when I used to work with UN, I did really make a problem for our colleagues because I'm always punctual and I'm always quick. So please, Toastmaster Farouk, would you remind us, but our first speaker today has 30 minutes. Would you like to tell us about the time? The floor is yours now.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. Dear distinguished members, honored guests, and our very distinguished extended family of international speakers. For this speech tonight, every speaker will have about 30 minutes to speak, but the time criteria for your sake that I'll follow is that at 20 minutes, I'll be showing the green card, okay? And at the 25-minute mark, I'll be showing the amber card, and at the 30-minute mark, I'll be showing the red card. Again, just for your reference, at the 20-minute mark, for your reference, I'll be showing the green card, and at 25 minutes, the yellow amber card, and 30 minutes, the red card. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Farouk. Thank you, Toastmaster Farouk again. And let's start with the mental wellness. I'm very eager to hear from you, Toastmaster Taiba Mahmoud, and your presentation today. Let's get started, and the floor is yours. Let's all welcome Toastmaster Taiba Mahmoud.
Hello. I'm sorry there was an internet issue. Apologies for that.
We got used to this.
So, first of all, I would like to present a heartily thank to the president of the club, Khalid Abdullah, and all the people who reached out to me for this thing of mental wellness. So I just want to request one thing from all the people who are with me today, that when we hear people, we are just hearing somebody, we forget like 90% of the things. When we hear carefully and when we take some notes, then we will retain some 10-20%. when we engage, when we are actively participating with people, that's when we, retain the 100%. So I really want you to, retain every bit of the things that I've learned the hard way. And all those people who are not showing their lovely faces, I request all of you to please, if you can, please show your lovely faces so that we can have as much interactive session as possible. In fact, I would encourage all of you to unmute yourself and be here with me together, because, I want this session to be very live. I want this to be as if I'm talking one-on-one to all of you. So please feel free to unmute yourself, and whenever there's a question, or whenever I'm asking something, I would like your cheerful response will give me that kind of energy. So are we good to go? Can we hear some cheers? Okay.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Yay!
So that's very important, because the topic today is very, very serious. The topic today that I'm going to share with all of you is a topic of mental wellness. So let me go to the slides that I've made for all of you, and let me share my screen. Okay. So okay. So here I would like to start mental wellness, your highway to health, wealth, and happiness. Now, I don't know how much of this will make sense to you, that, how can I get healthy? How can I get wealthy? And how can I be happy if I'm mentally well? How all these things are, uh, coming together by just being aware of the emotions and, being mentally fit. But by the end of the session, I'm sure you will discover the keys to, all these three things. Okay, so moving forward, uh, why does mental wellness matters? I'll first present a few facts that are given by WHO. Depression is one of the leading causes of disability. When I say disability, it actually hinders the work and everything. I mean, it is even worse than physical disability when I talk about mental disability. Then another startling thing, that people die 10 to 20 years earlier if they're not mentally well. And the third thing is, again, it affects the economy as well, because people are not as productive as they can be. These are the facts, you know, that I brought up in this presentation, and what are the reasonings why mental health matters so much to all of us. But I would like to present a snippet from my own experiences, from my own things that made me so intrigued about this topic, and I started reading and learning so much about this. So I'll share a personal story. I was 22 years old when I went to Delhi, and I was all by myself. I was into a job. I was literally taking care of everything by myself. It was a new life. Just after graduation, got a new job, and taking care of my life. So it was like a bird flew from her, what do you say, nest of her parents, and taking care of everything. And that's when life hit me. I was managing so many things together. I was doing so much that I started feeling bogged down, because I didn't knew how to handle our emotions. And I realized the interesting fact was, not just me, a lot of people don't know how to handle their thoughts, their feeling, their emotions. How many of you are with me on this? Say yes, or say
Yes,
something.
yes,
I fully agree with you.
yes, we are there with you.
So I feel that, knowing how to, you know, manage our emotions, knowing how to balance life, is the key to success, happiness, creativity, whatever you name it. Like, this is the key. So now we will go to why, this, uh, why, what are the reasons, what kind of thoughts and patterns lead to, mental illnesses. Let's understand that first. And then we will see what does not work, and then how can we break those patterns and actually live a life that we want. So all mental illnesses, they're a result of unhealthy mental patterns. So would somebody like to share what do they think about what are some unhealthy mental patterns that they think that because of that they lose a lot of on their time, productivity, creativity?
Membership payment.
Okay.
Yes, we added besides self-talk and self-thinking, Khalid's remembering us all the time of the payments.
Okay.
Did I do the job right?
Yeah. Did I do the job right? And also people have doubts about their own self. Am I good? Am I enough? This is also one of the very big factors. People are running behind perfection. And yeah, that is also something that hinders the progress. Anything else from other people?
Sleeping less to have less sleep.
uh Sleep deprivation because of thinking a lot,
Yes.
because of anxiety or something, right?
Yes, and work pressure as well.
Yeah, work pressure.
I'm not
That
good
is so
enough.
true.
To keep the boss happy.
And
To keep the boss happy.
to keep the boss happy, yeah, you have to be
Satisfied.
on your toes.
To keep the
You
boss
have to be on your
satisfied.
toes. Exactly. So we will explore some of the crippling patterns that are there. Is somebody else left who wants to share a crippling belief or a thought that hinders their creativity, progress, or anything that affects them in any way?
I feel persecuted.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
I feel persecuted.
You feel
By who?
persecuted.
By the president?
Yes.
I would like to add over here. Honestly
Yeah.
speaking, as per my experience, that I have experienced that whatever we do, we always think about that some sort of cripple things and these things that we try to make others happy. And we think that okay, if I did this one, maybe the other one, what he will do. So I believe in every fact or every aspect of life, this thing is there somehow.
Yeah, true. Thinking too much about others, what will others think?
Exactly.
Yeah, that is also one of the things that makes us overthink, and it also depresses people, because you must have seen people going on Instagram only to become more depressed or feeling jealous about a friend who recently got married, or somebody who went out on a nice vacation. So these are all patterns that knowingly or unknowingly we have formed. Now I'll just the first thing that happens is with all of us is overthinking. How many of you are overthinkers?
Most of us.
I think
I'm overthinker.
I think
Most.
we humans are too good at overthinking.
Exactly.
Thinking about problems and things about which we cannot do anything.
Future.
Right? Yeah, future or past or some things that are not in your control. I want to go to some place. Will it rain or not? But that's not in your control. Right? So what happens is when we spend too much of our time thinking negatively or overthinking, what happens is we are depleting our brain's resources of reasoning, forming memories, doing some creative work. These are some things that are happening. We feel that we are doing something very productive. we are designing a mission to launch a rocket, or we are doing something extraordinary. But what we are doing is we are depleting our, our mental capacities. We'll learn how we can go about all these things in, in the upcoming slide. But right now we are just looking at what are some of the patterns that we are having. And the second thing is unable to understand or handle our own emotions. Sometimes people feel very bogged down, but they just don't know what they are exactly feeling. Have you been in that situation where you felt irritated, but you didn't dig deeper as to what you're feeling?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Many a times actually it happens.
Yeah.
You control your emotions that you don't want to share with them, which actually even you, maybe you want to slap a person for a reason, but you still don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this happens with us. Maybe because we try to please others and to be this social image, and we depress our emotions, and suddenly it goes back to on someone else in the wrong place with the wrong person.
True. Yeah.
And then we ask the
You
question,
were
why
angry
is
in the
this
office just
happening
because
to
your
me?
boss said. Yeah.
Come home and shout at your husband.
So there are
ما الحكومة الفلبينية والمبلغ ما يكفي حق تحجز.
But Taiba, maybe I will forget this question later on, or maybe I'm asking too early, but I don't want to forget it. I just wonder that, for example, if I have something in my heart, in my mind for someone, and if I throw at him, do you think it helps to strong the mental wellness?
I have taken that question, and that's coming in the upcoming slides. So just hold your seats tight, because the upcoming slides are very tightly packed with some of the tried and tested strategies that you can apply every day in your life. So like the second thing is what happens with us, we are just so scared about our emotions. We think as if they are demons. They're just trying to come and hover at us, and they're trying to take away our peace and happiness. But we'll learn how to be friends with our emotions and how to use it for our advantages. So unable to handle work pressure, this is another thing. A lot of times we just don't know how to handle the work pressure, just what to do. There's so much pressure that we just lose all track of time, and we just forget our own selves because of our work. Recently what happened is, in my company, one of the very senior persons, he died on his desk. Now I imagine how the kind of work pressure there is on people who are at executive level. So I feel that work pressure is one thing, but how to again balance things is one thing that we all need to learn. Then again, if there's work pressure, and plus if you have negative colleagues, how do you deal in that situation? That will again degrade your health, your mental capacities. And being in the same environment is also found to be very first you'll start feeling bored, and then you will start feeling depressed. Has it happened with anybody of you, such an experience during COVID where you could not go out and you started feeling bogged down, although everything was good, you were having good food and everything was good, but you were feeling that something is missing out and you were being bogged down? Has it happened with anybody of you?
Yes.
Okay, somebody had a strange story or something that they would like to share, and how they dealt with it?
I am a surgeon, so I was facing that when the hospital was closed, the operation theater was closed, the patients who really needed surgery were suffering, and I had no option to tell them that I can't do it. So I used to feel very bad, helpless, and probably couldn't do anything. And I knew that they are suffering, and I was also suffering mentally, not being able to help them.
Yeah. So I had one incident during this time, uh, in which I was just, working from morning till evening. And what happened was, in the evening, I started feeling very bogged down. And I don't know why I was feeling so. I was sitting on my desk from morning till evening. And then the next day, what I did was, in the evening, I went out, have a nice chocolate fudge, and I started feeling better. So basically, being in the same environment also creates this kind of monotony. And if you just go out, if you just see at the sky, and if you just change your environment a bit, that is also something that helps. uh, Rethinking about the past and bad memories is one thing that we all do. Now what we all want is happiness, right? But what we picture is bad memories, experiences. So what do you think is going to be the outcome? How would you feel?
Feeling sad and depressed.
Exactly.
Keep getting the same thought, keep reliving the bad memories, I guess.
True. That is so true. If you're putting a bad input, how do you expect a good output? And we humans, we do it again and again, thinking that we are getting something out of it, or maybe this will help. By thinking a lot or by cursing somebody, we'll get something. But we actually hurt ourselves, we waste our time, and we are just, so these are all unhealthy patterns that we practice on a day-to-day basis. And let's now, you must be thinking, am I the most devil person on the planet, thinking so much negative? But let me tell you, our human brain is wired like that. And there is a very interesting story behind it, that when we were in the past, when we used to live in jungles, there used to be predators. So the first instinct that used to come was, this person will kill me, or this thing will happen to me. So that was how our human brain was wired to to be protective, to think negative rather than positive. But right now, the environment that we are living, we are not haunted by predators or lions or any jungle animals. So it really requires effort. The point is, it really requires effort to replace those negative paradigms with positive paradigms. And you cannot do it naturally, because if our brain was so efficient, then we would never need books or therapists or psychologists. We would be all living happily, because our brain is wired like that. But since our brain is not wired like that, it is so important to become masters of conditioning our happiness. We should learn how to condition our happiness. We should It's all about practice. It's about conditioning patterns that enhance your creativity, that enhances good health, and all these things. So that brings me to my next slide. So how do you finally come into that sphere of mental well-being? How do you practice it in day-to-day life in a way that that's effective? I'm not going to tell you that um, these things are tried and tested, and if you can take even a few things and apply it with belief that they will have impact on your life, then your life would really be changed. There should be no dilemma about it. So the first thing that as I said in my last section, the first thing that we need to do is observe our feelings. See, if we have a headache, we should know we have a headache, right? Only then we can take the medicine of headache. However, if we don't know if there's a headache or not, we might take the wrong medicine. So therefore, the first and the foremost pillar of mental wellness is knowing how you're feeling. And how can you know? And being very specific about it. Like if you're feeling sad, like for what exactly you are feeling sad, specify it. The more specific you would be, the more uh, faster you would reach to the solution, because our brain works on what do you say, focus, on the principle of focus. The more you focus on something, the more it will find that kind of solution. So if you focus that I'm feeling this way, then it will see, okay, what can I do, but you have to be really specific. And here are 3 techniques that I personally use for gauging my feelings. So you have to be in touch with your feelings every single day. It's not like you're feeling happy today, so you don't have to do this thing next day. It's a process. Remember, happiness, mental well-being is not a destination, it's a journey. You have to undertake this journey every single day. So the first thing that you should do to gauge your feelings is journaling. Write your experiences whenever you get time. If you are not a fan of journaling, you can express yourself to a close friend. Bottle, all those things that are bottled up in your heart, you have to just take them out and express it, and just hear them out, what exactly you're feeling. Or if you don't have a friend also, if you don't feel comfortable sharing it with your friend, then talk to yourself. But do anything but just gauge what you're exactly feeling. Now this brings me to my next slide, which is so powerful. It says that it is a quote by Viktor Frankl. He is a psychologist who survived the Nazi death camp, and he wrote one of the very good books. You can go through his book. His book's name is Man's Search for Meaning. And this is a very powerful quote that he says: between stimulus and response lies a space, and between that space lies our power to choose the response. So this is very deep. The things that are happening to us, they're all stimulus. They're wanting, all these things are wanting us to act in a certain way, to react in a certain way. But if you create a space between these things that are happening to you and the response that you will take for these things, you have the power to either react or act in a sensible manner. So this brings me, how can you actually change your focus when you're feeling bogged down, you're not feeling good, you're having so many problems? So what can you exactly do? So one thing that we all do is we put our happiness on our future. So from today onwards, we have to break this paradigm once and for all, because when you're happy right now, everything would be great. So how can you change your focus and bring that kind of good state in your life? By asking these questions: what am I really happy about my life right now? What am I excited in my life right now? About what am I grateful, proud, enjoying? What are the things that I have right now? So suddenly you will be in a different state. You would be thinking about things that you're grateful for. And when you're grateful, when you're thinking about good things, you can't be angry, you can't be frustrated. And the most important thing is, what we do as humans is we focus on our problems so much that that problem becomes a monster. So what we need to do today onwards is, we need to acknowledge our problem. We don't have to be like those people who say no weeds, no weeds, no weeds. If there are weeds in the garden, call them out loud. But you don't have to give all your energy to those problems. You have to focus on the solutions. What can you do about them? So basically, changing your focus is one of the very powerful things that you can do at any point of time, in the day, night, whenever you're feeling bogged down. Just change your focus. Just shift your focus towards things that matter to you, for which you're grateful, for which you're enjoying. The second is change your physiology. Now, this is something that's underrated. Have you seen those people who are very bogged down? How do they sit? They sit like this. They're actually looking downwards. Their shoulders are dropped. They're slouching. This kind of posture, what kind of signals does this posture give to our mind? That this person is depressed. So if you want to change your mood in 10 seconds, what can you do? Just give the biggest smile on your face. The smile that, paints your cheeks. Because, there are 80 muscles. Yeah, just like TM Farooq. Because there are 80 muscles on your face. And the moment you smile, there's a chemical called dopamine that's released. And the moment that's released, you're happy. So even forced laughter really helps. You can, even if you force laughter, even that helps. If you just do some kind of jog, run, stretch, put your body in motion, just change the physiology, and instantly you will feel you are in a different state. You might be frustrated, but go do a dance, do something funny, laugh at your own self, but do something to change this physiology. Now this brings me to my next slide, that is, again, state is everything. So if you want to feel good, you have to tap in the best of your feelings. So what can you do? How can you dial in your best feelings in like just 10 seconds and just change your mood from angry to happy? Just think of one good time. Close your eyes. I want you all to do this activity right now. The timer can leave this activity and accept the timer. Everybody can do. So just close your eyes and, just think of one moment in your life for which you are incredibly grateful. Something that just fills your heart with awe and wonder. Something that just, for which you're immensely thankful for. And give your biggest smile. Give your biggest smile, the smile that, puts, your cheeks in pain. That kind of smile. Just do that. Just feel it. Feel what you were feeling in that moment. Hear what you were hearing in that moment. Everything. Feel that moment. And open your eyes now. How many of you felt different? Say I.
Hi.
Was it effective?
Aye.
Was.
Yes.
Can you do it every day? Whenever
time?
you are angry and wasting time thinking about negative patterns. So what's the bottom line? The bottom line is happiness is a skill that you need to practice every single day. You need to condition your nervous system to practice happiness. Because if it's just like, it's just like brushing your teeth. Initially, when you were a kid, your mom used to push you, right? But then it becomes autopilot once you do this every single time. So I have for you something that I called a 10-day challenge, personal mastery challenge. Now what you have to do is, now you know what are all your negative thought patterns. It might be overthinking, it might be holding on to grudges, it might be anything. Now what you have to do is, the moment you start feeling these feelings, you know how to, change your state by focusing on the solution, by changing the physiology and tapping into your best feelings. I want you to take a personal mastery challenge for 10 days, and the moment you break it, you have to do it all over again. Because only when you force your brain to, follow something in a strict manner, only then can you follow it. And if you learned one thing and you apply it in this 10-day challenge, life would be better. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I would like to welcome the questions. I'm more than happy to answer a few questions if somebody has a few questions related to what I delivered.
What is this 10-day mastery challenge? What does it constitute?
Basically, ma'am, it is like changing your state, practicing this art of changing your state every time you feel frustrated or you feel depressed. You have to change your, state in like 10 seconds every time you feel so. And you have to do it so many times that, you just become accustomed to it, so that you give your positive self, best self to your work, to your life, to everything that matters to you. So,
Thank you.
so what you have to do is you have to make a, take a notebook and put a check mark on the days that you feel, you did well, and you have to put a cross the days you felt you did not do well, and the day, if let's suppose on the fifth day you failed, so you have to start it all over again, and that's how your brain will, understand and take in new patterns.
Thank you.
My pleasure. So I think I'm done on time.
Toastmaster Widad, she is speaking, but you are muted.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can see Toastmaster.
Okay, I pressed, but it didn't unmute me. So, Toastmaster Taiba, thank you for this mental wellness presentation, and hope everyone would benefit from this. It's really practical. It's not only theoretical. It just moved us from identifying the negative thinking and our negative mental health wellness issues, and then you moved us to the positive one. Let's give the audience some chance to think about more questions and leave it for the end, as we have part of the presentation or part of our day for discussing things. So please, everyone, if you have more questions, take your time to think about them and to write them down, and then we can share it at the end. Thank you very much. Now let's move to our next speaker from mental health to living up your club meetings. Let's see how we can benefit from mental wellness to improve our club meetings when changing ourselves and improving our mental wellness. Our next speaker in all this gold for today is distinguished Toastmaster Samira Khan. She is a Toastmaster for 10 years, member of 4 clubs in District 105, represented District 20 in semi-final World Champions 2017 in Vancouver, mother of 3, involved in family business based in United Arab Emirates, stand-up comedian and painter by passion. Welcome, distinguished Toastmaster Samira Khan. Your topic for today is, as we mentioned before, living up your club meetings, and we are eager to hear from you. Please don't forget to pin the timer before, and let's give her a great applause. The floor is yours. Distinguished Toastmaster Samira Khan.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vidad. It's so wonderful to see a lot of my friends here. A warm good evening to all the wonderful members and guests of Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club. After listening to Toastmaster Taiba's session on mental wellness, I think our sessions have a lot in common, the word mental. And this segment is about how to liven up your club meetings. In other words, how we can tune up the mental wellness of our club. Now, the recipe for that, online or regular, is more or less the same. And I'm sure you may already be implementing a lot of ideas and suggestions that I'll be sharing today. So if you already are, keep it up. And if you want to try something out of this, if it falls within your club culture and identity, please feel free to try that. All right. And this is an interactive session. I want everybody to contribute in the chat box. Yeah. Now, I have divided all these suggestions and ideas into 3 categories. I will be sharing a write-up on this. Sorry. I'll be sharing a write-up on this to you separately. I don't have a fancy presentation because I'm not good at making one. I will share with you after this meeting. So like I mentioned, I have shared all my ideas into 3 categories. The first one is energetic environment. Okay. Under energetic environment, I have networking. I have seen clubs where the networking sessions have made a big difference in keeping the energy of the meeting high. Okay. What else do you think a good networking session can help us with? Can you put that in the chat box? Why do you think a good networking session will help? A good networking session before the meeting? I am going to open the chat box. Get to know people, very good. It improves the membership level, breaks the ice. Wonderful, wonderful. Breaks bones. I'm definitely sure Toastmaster Farhaz will do that. Let's be careful with him. Makes people comfortable. Very good. Makes people, it improves our communication skills. Yes, those people like me who fears networking, it breaks our ice to, you know, build up a camaraderie with people who share common interest. It creates an easy environment. We have an RJ in the house. Wonderful. Positive environment. Wonderful. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay. Believe me, hearing my own voice is absolutely uncomfortable. Thank you. Encourages for attending the meetings. Wonderful. It makes our guests also feel very welcome. It improves the friendship, the camaraderie between the members. All right. There is so much buzz and vibrancy within the club. Wonderful. Guest speakers. Guest speakers add about an excitement. It increases the base of your audience and it also brings a new perspective into the club. The third one is group picture. And I have been seeing very innovative, crazy pictures all around in our district. Some of them, you know, all of them have the same background according to the theme. And there is a group picture on that. And so they all hold hands like this, you know, they position their hands according to the screen. It's as if all of them are holding hands. And then I have seen a picture where everyone looks at one direction, like they all look maybe to the left or to the right. So you can have creative pictures like this, and maybe after 6 or 7 meetings, create a collage, add it to your magazine. Okay, these are some fun things you can do. Standing ovations for those who complete a path or an icebreaker speech. Some clubs I have seen, they have this mass applaud thing. They play that audio clip. It kind of motivates the speaker and, you know, makes them feel special, especially when they see everyone standing up from their homes or offices or wherever the meeting is held. We do that in our face-to-face meetings as well. Meaningful and helpful evaluations. Believe me, I have seen many guests, I have witnessed many guests telling at the end of a meeting that their favorite segment of that meeting was the evaluation segment. They are totally mesmerized, like, wow, when I speak on that stage, there will be people who will tell me my strength and they will tell me how I can improve. This is a very big takeaway for the guests. So I strongly recommend clubs to focus on providing meaningful and helpful evaluations to the speaker. Speaker feedback. A 30-second speaker feedback, come what may, I strongly recommend this. Today we have 19 people. So if I'm a speaker, just imagine how the speaker will feel after getting 18 feedbacks from the club members. Word of the day by everyone. If we are a small crowd today, so if this was a regular meeting, that word of the day used in 19 sentences, that really adds to the energy of the club. Explore bonding opportunities. Now, many clubs, when pre-corona, before corona, BC time, we have bowling events, family dinners, potluck events. Okay. So now because of the situation, it has to be limited, but still it is a possibility that you can explore and discuss with your club members if it is possible. So overall, under energetic environment, I'm going to give you a summary. I have networking, inviting guest speakers, fun group pictures, standing ovation for those who complete a path or an icebreaker or some coveted title, meaningful and helpful evaluations, a compulsory speaker feedback, word of the day being attempted by everyone, and exploring bonding opportunities. The second category I have put up here is innovative roles. The first one I have is joke master. Joke master, it's just a 1 or 2 minute role. They can crack some jokes. Jokes add laughter, releases endorphins, increases the happiness factor in the club, makes the meeting more lively. Some clubs even have quiz master. Before they used to call it fine timer. Some clubs call it trivia master. It adds to the thrill and the fun. In real meetings, we used to give out chocolates and candies, but now it's not possible. Inshallah, soon it will be. The third one is word master with a twist. Some clubs I've seen, they try grammar trivias. For example, what is the difference between, the word master will explain the difference between who, whom, and whose, how to use these three words. Some clubs do idioms. Okay, for example, cool as a cucumber. Everybody has to use cool as a cucumber in a sentence. So it's a break away from the traditional word of the day, yet it falls well within the whole English grammar scenario, if you get me. Okay. The next one I have is spin the wheel table topics. So for that, I'm going to share my screen and show you how it works. I hope I can share my screen.
Everyone can share their screen, but we'll keep this as a secret.
Can you see this? Can I see a thumbs up? Okay. You can put, for example, this one I put, the topic is the same. Describe your life as a. Our first speaker today is going to be DTM Ali, Shahbaz Ali, and he is going to describe his life. This is just an example, okay? He is going to describe his life as a, I spin the wheel. He's going to describe his life as a shoe. Okay? And we remove that. We remove that, okay? Our next speaker is going to describe, DTM Ratinder is going to describe his life as a salt and pepper shaker. Okay, so you can put in random words in these. It is called wheelofnames.com, or you can just search for spin the wheel and you can put in names on the right hand side. Can you see? I have put in names, and you can use it to add some fun and thrill in your table topic segment. That sounds interesting, yeah? And even you can use the same technique for having acceptance speeches. For example, if all of you have won awards, okay? You are going to present an acceptance speech for the best villain of 2020, okay? Or for the best doormat of 2020. Some award, some crazy random award. So everybody has to give an acceptance speech for that item. Okay, being the best father, or being the best student, best car of the year. You can come up with anything, but everybody has to give an acceptance speech. All right, so that is spin the wheel table topic. So all these will add enthusiasm and vibrancy in our meeting. So I'll just go over the innovative roles: joke master, quiz master, word master with a twist, table topics with spin the wheel. And the last category I'm going to have is creative meetings. The first one I have is grab a role meeting. Now in this meeting, all of us come prepared with a 4.5 minute speech, whatever is required to qualify for voting. And then all the roles get decided here. Hold on. All the roles will be decided using spin the wheel technique. There you go. Everyone shows up at the meeting with a prepared speech, a minimum prepared speech. And the roles get decided at the meeting. We will have a basic agenda only with the roles. So for example, today, Toastmaster Amarjeet Kaur, his role is going to be, he's going to be our second speaker. Okay. And our second speaker is decided. DTM Basha will take up the role of the first speaker. So you get the point? So all the roles will be decided at the meeting. So that is grab a role meeting. The next one I have is debates. Debates are fun. There are some exclusive debate clubs here in the UAE. I'm not sure about the District 20. You should try. Even if there are no debate clubs, we can have debates in our club because we have one every day in the house anyways. It adds drama and spice and it's very intriguing. Okay, so debates are something you can try. Tall tales. I love tall tales. Tall tales are basically exaggerated and fictitious speeches. It adds so much laughter and excitement into the meeting. We had an exclusive tall tale meeting in our club just a month ago, before all the contest season started. It was really fun. Joint meeting. Joint meeting brings in different flavors of culture. It widens our network. Have you tried a joint meeting after this? After we went on Zoom? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's amazing, right? It's amazing. We had a joint meeting with a club from India, and we were so impressed with their professionalism, how well they prepared each role player. We learned a lot. So it was really nice. The next one I have is reverse meeting. Have you tried reverse meeting?
Yes, it was in
Yes, there you go. Yeah, it's so much fun. You start from the general evaluator and all the way it goes until sergeant at arms. Our general evaluator was crazy. He was like, I wonder why the evaluator was scratching his head throughout his evaluation. And the evaluator did that. The evaluator went, oh, I felt bad when the speaker fell on the face, and the speaker actually fell on his face during the speech. So it's super fun. So you should try that. And something fun you can do at the meetings is set virtual backgrounds according to the theme of the meeting. Okay, that's something nice you can do. So for creative meetings, I have grab a role, debates, tall tales, joint meetings. I think this is the best time to have a joint meeting with any club in the world. I was a part of a joint meeting in India where they had 20 women, 20 women role players from 20 different countries in the world. It was it was a very exciting meeting. So this is the best time to have joint meetings. You can go global, you can travel around. So thank you, folks. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm just going to end with one message here. Okay. All of us, we have this immense power and capability to make every meeting a special event. And that's what we must strive for every meeting. Make it a special event. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Back to you, Toastmaster Wilda.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You are too quick. And thank you for shifting us from our personal mental wellness to the mental wellness of the Toastmasters meetings and roles and all the things you presented. You were really energetic, and I could feel that if I'm participating in all these, and I am at the moment, that how much mental wellness we will be enjoying, having fun, playing different roles, and moving from one thing to another in a very funny way, relaxed, which is part of the mental wellness, being relaxed and having fun, watching our words, watching our feelings, watching our thoughts. And in this case, we'll all be happy, and maybe I'm sure we'll attract more and more new Toastmasters with these things, because people need something fun staying at home. And yesterday, I think District 20, we all put this status on WhatsApp, what is Toastmaster? And then we really got lots of questions, what is Toastmaster? And it was nice explaining this to people. So what you presented today, and it's on YouTube, I hope that we have lots of people watching this on YouTube, that this would attract lots of people and to Toastmaster, to enjoy it, to have fun, to express themselves, to have their mental wellness expressing themselves. And this is one part of keeping our mental health well-being in general. I think the timer, would you remind us where our status is? I think we still have some time.
We still have time. We still have 10 minutes.
We still have 10 minutes. So I think we can have some questions now, or we leave it to the end since.
Yeah,
I think we can make it lively and make it to the end and have some table topics by the VP Education.
Okay.
To make our meeting lively.
Meeting lively, okay.
I think we can move on to the next speaker.
We can move on to the next speaker, okay. So as leadership is participating, the democratic leadership skills, that's my personality. I like to share others instead of being the one who make my own decisions. So now for our third speaker, and I'm very eager to hear from her, our distinguished Toastmaster, Basha Makam. She is currently in her second term as District Director for District 38 in the eastern part of the United States. She's a member of 5 clubs in 5 different districts in 4 different countries, United States, Bangladesh, Kenya, and will be a charter member of a club in the United Arab Emirates, mashallah. As you can see, Basha loves Toastmasters, especially when the meetings are fun. And I believe she's with us today and we are having a lot of fun. Your energy of having fun, you have just shifted to us today. Thank you for being with us in All This Gold. Her topic for today is fun meetings. And let's all welcome our distinguished Toastmaster, Basha Makram, for her presentation, fun meetings. And please don't forget to pin the timer. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Just getting my things arranged here. It is truly an honor to be here today. We're going to have fun. Does anybody want to have fun?
Yes.
Woo, yes. Woo. We learned about mental health. Fun goes into our mental health. It helps us with mental health. We heard about how liven up our meetings. This is taking that maybe the next step. And some of the things you'll hear me mention were already mentioned by Samira. We either may go into a bit more depth or we may kind of go through them quickly depending on how much she had covered. But today we are all going to be cool as a cucumber. So you have to throw that idiom in when somebody gives it to you. There we go. Have any of you ever attended a meeting like this? You see, people aren't paying attention. Have you ever attended a Toastmasters meeting like this?
No.
Unfortunately, I have. Not many, but there are some. Even on Zoom, you see people, they're on their phone, or you can't even see their head. They're not paying attention. Do you think our members would renew and make Khalid happy? No. They would say, I have more fun things to do with my life. I want to have fun. Let's have a party. Let's get into this. Even on Zoom, you can see people smiling. Look around. Is anybody smiling today? Everybody smile so everybody can say, yes, I see somebody smiling. We want to have fun meetings. As we learned earlier, it helps with our mental health. It helps us to get people engaged. It helps us to become a family. So what can we do? We talked about roles that people can take. We talked about some meetings. I'm going to concentrate more on what Samira had at her last point, different types of meetings. You heard her talk about tall tales. You can have a meeting that is just tall tales. We had a gentleman who talked about his first trip to India. One of the great things about tall tales is they can be based in reality. He did actually go to India to visit his wife's family, but then he talked about how he got pulled in to a police chase, that somebody jumped in his car and took over his car and the police were chasing him. And in listening to it, we knew he was not quite telling the truth, but it's hard sometimes to figure out where that end is because you know it's such a tall tale. But they can be fun. I've participated in my club in Kenya. They're actually having a tall tale contest in their district. And it is amazing to hear what people say. We already covered backwards meetings. They are meant to be fun. One of my friends who was a speaker was one time told she wasn't taking this seriously. They're not meant to be taken seriously. They're meant to be fun. They're meant to help you grow. If you're a speaker in a backwards meeting, and as Samira told you, somebody talked about how when they evaluated before the speaker spoke, but somebody fell on their face. As an advanced speaker, you now have to incorporate that into your speech. It is helping you grow because who wants to fall on their face? But you have to incorporate it. So try it sometime if you haven't. A whodunit, maybe a murder mystery. We did this at one of my clubs. We had a member who was not going to be able to make a meeting. So he made a video, and we played the video at the beginning of the meeting. And the video was, I fear for my life. I know somebody is out to get me. And he mentioned the two people who were out to get him. Now, those two people were the speakers for that day. I was one of them. So my speech had to be around either why I was not the one who was out to get him and I didn't do it, or why the other person did. The nice thing for me is the other person went first, and she talked about how she was so innocent. I got to go second, and I talked about I was innocent, but she was guilty, and I pointed everything at her. So we had different tactics. And then the table topics questions centered around witnesses. They would ask you, Hassan, when you were out last week in that meeting and you saw Basha and Larissa interacting with Steve, what did you think? And then the table topics, he had to make up about a meeting that he had obviously never attended and point the finger at one of us. And at the end, we voted on who was guilty. Yes, I was the guilty one. But the club was split on who they thought was guilty. You can do this many different ways. I'm attending a meeting in London or right outside of London in a few weeks where they're going to do something similar because I want to get different ideas on how different clubs handle it. It helps you build your skills in a way you never thought. We already talked about meeting in a box. I believe Samira called it grab a roll meeting. I love the wheel of names. I use that as well. So you can do that in an advanced group. Everything's open. If you're doing it in a group where you have newer members, you maybe split the roles into roles for advanced Toastmasters and roles for newer so that they don't feel put on the spot maybe to do a speech. But it's just a different twist on meeting in a box or grab a roll meeting. And pop-up meetings. These are similar to meeting in a box. I'm sitting at home. It's a Friday evening. I can't get out because there's this thing called pandemic going on. But I nearly wanted to go to a Toastmasters meeting. And, you know, I talked to my friends and they want to go too. We just have a pop-up meeting. Let's create a meeting. As long as we have enough people, you be the Toastmaster, I'll be a speaker, you be the general evaluator, somebody else evaluate me. It doesn't have to be last minute, but you can have pop-up meetings if you have members who just want to get together and have some fun. Movie night. Does anybody like movies? Find your favorite movies. I attended. Exactly. Even those of us who maybe don't get out, we still watch movies. I attended a meeting in Saudi Arabia, and I was one of the evaluators, but everything was based on movies. And let me tell you, they did not just do a simple movie night as, oh, let's just talk about the movies. They had backgrounds showing people walking the red carpet. They introduced everybody according to them portraying somebody in a movie. They picked out a movie that fit everybody's personality. I have not seen a meeting that was so extravagant. I even have to confess, I went dressed to the nines. It was a black tie affair on a Zoom meeting. because we were walking the red carpet. So have you pick out your favorite movies, or you can concentrate on one movie, or you can go over as many movies as you want. But again, it's another idea. Get it out there. Time machine. Oh, when I look back at some of these pictures, these are from the 50s and the 80s here in the US. Go back to a time. Have people dress or even just do hairstyle since we're on Zoom. In the 80s in the US, it was big hair. Have everybody come with the big hair. Laugh at it. Laugh at how the styles have changed. Play music. If you can, get people to give speeches. Well, when I was a kid in the 80s, this is what it was like. It's fun because people are reminiscing, and all of us like to reminisce and share our stories. But it also helps those people who weren't around in the 80s, who don't remember the 80s, get a feel for some history of what it meant to them. So do a time machine. Go back to the Middle Ages. You can go back as far as you want. You can even go back to last year, pretending we're meeting in person instead of on Zoom. And how is it different? But look at, what can we do differently? How can we talk and learn at the same time? It can also be creative if you ask some of your speakers to speak on that era. As I said, talk about what you did back in the 80s. Superheroes. Now, I saw some people have Batman up earlier. I got to tell you, Wonder Woman is where it's at. Why do I say that? Well, I'm Wonder Woman. And for those of you who aren't sure, I will say, have you ever seen me and Wonder Woman in the same room? I think not. But superheroes is our theme in our district and has been for the past 2 years. We talk about being a hero, and heroes soar. What we have done in our district is the trio have all taken on a superhero persona. I, of course, am Wonder Woman. We had the Incredible Hulk, we have Storm. And then all of our division directors have also taken on a superhero persona. It's getting our district enthused, and it's flowing to our clubs. I can't tell you how many meetings I have attended in my district, in 38 district at least, that have had a superhero theme simply because we've been promoting it around the district as a way to pull everybody together. So have a superhero theme. Everybody comes, they pick their own, who they are, and you portray that during the meeting. You have a background. I actually have a background that shows Wonder Woman. I have a background that shows Hall of Justice when I have my outfit, or at least my crown on. Have a superhero meeting. It can be fun, and then take on the persona. An icebreaker extravaganza or a speechathon. Even be an advanced club. Every time somebody starts a new path, they start with an icebreaker. So have a meeting where everybody gives an icebreaker. In some of your other clubs, maybe you have a bunch of new members. New members can be a little scared or leery about giving that first speech. But if you have a meeting where everybody is giving their first icebreaker, now not their 10th icebreaker, but their first icebreaker, everybody's on the same start. Now, yes, some may be more advanced than others, but they're all in the same place. Have them all give it on the same meeting. It helps them feel a little bit more comfortable. We're all in the same boat. Let's get together. Or even have a speechathon at an advanced club. This is, in a way, a speechathon. We're doing a lot of speeches. We skip table topics. We just go through and we get people in. If you have people who give their first icebreaker, maybe award them. Our district this year, it's not even at the club level. Our district, when a club tells us that somebody has given it their first icebreaker, we are sending them a handwritten note thanking them for stepping up and taking that first step, along with icebreaker mints. You would be amazed how much people, especially right now, love getting a handwritten note. Going back to our mental wellness, think about how that makes you feel. I stepped out of my comfort zone. I was scared to give that icebreaker. Not only did my club applaud for me, but now somebody in the district sent me a handwritten note. They took the time to acknowledge me. Things like that can make your meetings fun, and it can also get your members enthused to take that next step. So you can see everything is pulling together today. And crazy hats. Who of us doesn't have some kind of crazy hat? This is a club that I belong to here in the United States, and we have at least once a year a crazy hat meeting. Zoom was not going to stop us. We could still have crazy hats. Now, some people you'll see have some really fancy, some aren't as fancy. Some people probably changed hats 5 times during this meeting because they couldn't make up their mind and they loved all their hats. But if you've ever heard a Toastmaster wears many hats, we used that to go with this theme, and then we talked about the many hats that we wear throughout the meeting. And you can see everybody's having fun. They're smiling. They loved something as simple as putting on a crazy hat. Mardi Gras. Now, you may not celebrate Mardi Gras, but everybody can get into Mardi Gras some way. We had a region meeting, and our theme was Mardi Gras. We used backgrounds. I put on purple hair and big feathers in my hair because I wanted to be different and I wanted to have fun. And it was a chance to step outside and be something else. So think about what celebrations. Halloween. In the US, we celebrate Halloween. So you can see some pictures. This, I believe, is the same club. One was in person one year, one was on Zoom. We could still do it on Zoom. In fact, we had one person, and I think he's in there. He took it to the next level. He was the headless person on Zoom. He's actually not even in the picture. We didn't know that till later when he slid over. We're thinking, how does he make himself headless? He didn't. He just had a hat on a chair. And he won the best costume. Now, I have a member of a club that I belong to in Nairobi, Kenya, who had never been to a Halloween party. So keep in mind, on Zoom, this is your chance. He came to a meeting. He stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning to come to a Halloween party in the US because he wanted to see what it was about. He had a blast. He even won the best costume. He went so far out and he went into this. He had a blast, and I know he'll come back. So if you don't have Halloween in where you are, ask to join a club and visit a club in another part. Valentine's Day is coming up. Dr. Love. We called our Toastmaster of the day for that day, Dr. Love. Does everybody love love? I do.
Of course.
It doesn't matter if you're single, you're married, you have kids, you don't have kids. We all want to be loved in some way. We talked about during our speeches and our table topics how you feel loved. Some people told how they met their significant other. And it is amazing, when, especially if you have members from around the world, the different cultures and the different customs on meeting a spouse. Again, you're having fun, you're learning. You can talk about how you love your children or how you love your best friend. It's a different kind of love, but I still feel love for my best friend. So it's all around love, which goes back again to our mental wellness. Love makes us feel good. Have a meeting that's centered around love. And a Pollyanna. Now, in the US, we base our Pollyanna usually in December because there's a lot of holidays from different religions that involve gift exchanges. You can hold it when it's appropriate for you. And this meeting, we've done it virtually and we've done it in person. So when we did it in person, everybody brought a gift, just a small gift, not very expensive. The expense is not the point. And then you take turns picking a gift and unwrapping it. And you have to give a table topic on the gift you just unwrapped. Now, some of the gifts are very serious. You got a calendar. It was December, so some people would maybe put a calendar for the next year. Some of the gifts were pretty funny. And some of those I am not going to mention on here. But you have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. It doesn't matter what you got. And people can get very creative. They can talk about why they love the gift, why they hate the gift. They can go off on some story that happened to them 10 years ago that this gift reminds them about. And then at the end, they get the chance to steal somebody else's gift who opened one before them. It's fun. It's a table topics meeting. When we have it in person, we usually have some food and drinks, pizza, ginger ale, something like that. And it just makes it a big party atmosphere. It is a lot of fun. Another holiday, Diwali. So this is a meeting that I attended in the UAE, and it was a Diwali celebration. It was a lot of fun. You can see we all dressed the part. The speeches were around Diwali. I learned a lot. I had always heard about Diwali, but I didn't know a lot about it. So I learned a lot in that meeting. It was fun. They also had, of course, food. I don't think I've ever gone to a meeting there that doesn't have food. And the food was centered around Diwali. So I learned a lot more because they kept pushing it on me too, because I was considered a special guest at that meeting. They kept pushing food on me. So I got to learn a lot about the culture and the customs. Pick out a holiday that maybe some of your members celebrate, but some don't. And get that cross-culture sharing going, because it's fun, but it's also informative. Now, we are on Zoom these days, and some of these will work on Zoom, some better than others, but some that you can have Zoom specific. How about a face mask face-off? Obviously, we're all in different rooms. In some cases, we're in different countries. We don't need to wear face masks, but wouldn't it be funny if we all wore different face masks? Get creative. I don't have some of these that are as crazy as this, but I have quite a few face masks because I don't like to fit into that little box. I want to wear something different that makes people take notice. I have some that have elephants. I have some with music. I have a Dr. Seuss green eggs and ham face mask. See who can be the most creative, and you can award prizes. It may just be a little certificate, but it's the point of I had the best face mask. Goofy glasses. Does anybody remember maybe wearing these as a kid? I know the kids around me love to put on goofy glasses and be silly. Do it in a Toastmasters meeting. You don't have to wear them the whole meeting, but put them on, take them off. Maybe have questions about that during table topics. Now this one can be a little hard, but do you ever see people or know they're dressed for Zoom from the waist up, but they probably have shorts? I've seen people who have like old raggedy basketball shorts on, but yet they have a suit and tie at the top. Now, you do tell people they have to have something, but this can be fun, but you have to watch the group that you're doing it with. And the grooviest virtual background. I love backgrounds. Khalid probably can tell you, I'm guessing at every meeting he sees me at, I probably have a different background. I try to match the theme of the day. I try to match my mood. Sometimes it's the location. My background right now is the marina in Dubai. I took that picture and sometimes I put it up just to remind myself, because I can't be there right now, how much I miss being there. Because I do live there usually part of the year. So have a different background, see what they're funny, see what their meaning is. And some of these go back, networking. You can have evening get-togethers. It doesn't have to be during your regular meeting time. Let's just get together because I'm feeling a little down today and I just need people to talk to. Keep in mind at these times, as we heard, our mental wellness is suffering. We really need sometimes just that connection. Have a holiday party. We talked about some of those. Have a picnic. Hopefully by this summer, maybe we can get together a little bit more often and we can have a picnic. Attend a training together. Club officers, you're going through training right now. Even if it's on Zoom, you can still chat with each other or WhatsApp with each other, just like we do during meetings. Go together. If it's on site, go together because you can compare notes. I can tell you, two of us can sit at a meeting beside each other and hear different things because of our backgrounds. Inter-club events, as you mentioned, have joint meetings. This is a picture from a joint meeting. It's the UAE ladies group in Dubai, along with the group in China. We learned from each other. We had fun, and this is the time to do it. Go to different events throughout your district, international. I'm sure Khalid would love to see you show up at different contests and volunteer to take on a role if you're not a contestant. And there's always at the international level, there's the convention. Now, you may not have seen it, it was just announced, but the convention this August is going to be online, similar to last year. You can attend. You don't have to get visas and plane tickets and spend a lot of money to get there. You can simply log onto your computer and see. And last year, a lot of the presentations were recorded. So if you didn't want to be up at 2 or 3 in the morning, you could watch them later. So put that on your calendar right now. We don't have details. It was just announced yesterday. But these are some good things. I know Khalid and I just went through mid-year training for district officers. It is always great to get the information. But my favorite sessions were the networking sessions, where we simply logged on at a certain time, we went into breakout rooms, and we could talk about whatever we wanted to. Now, some of the sessions, they tried to give us a topic. I will admit, as district directors, some of us got in a room and we talked about whatever we wanted. It was more about the interaction and supporting each other and just talking. That is needed now more than ever. Look for these ideas. Moments of truth, these ideas mostly go into your fellowship and your program planning. And what makes for a successful year? If you can't tell, you need to plan. Some of these meetings you want to put on the calendar early enough that people have time to get ready. Committed officers, I'm sure you have this. Fun meetings and networking. And above all, have fun. As you can see in this picture, we are all having fun. We are all smiling. And a smile can change not only your mental health and your life, but it can change for those who are around you. Because a smile is contagious. Share one with other people. Pass it on. Don't keep it to yourself. Thank you. And with that, I turn it back to our host for the day.
Thank you very much for your nice presentation and for the ideas you shared with us. And it was really amazing because in the second presentation, we got into the roles of Toastmasters and what new ideas, what funny ideas we have. And then you shifted us to the general theme of each and every meeting. We can have different ideas, we can have more fun, we can smile more, and it was really amazing what other clubs are doing, and we are sharing this idea of sharing clubs and getting together is really nice. And your final suggestion was really nice, because it said that, and I believe most of us, if not all, know this: if you don't have our own plans, we will be in others' plans. So planning and planning is really the best, and hope that everyone can share in the convention from the 23rd to the 28th of August for 2021. I participated a little bit last year. I didn't have the chance to attend it all. It was really amazing for me as a new Toastmaster. This year, hopefully everyone can participate. And as you mentioned, online is good. Thank you for the fun you shared us. Thank you for the wonderful ideas you shared us. Hope that everyone would enjoy it and would transmit it to their clubs. That's all for today. Let's go back. Thank you for the timer for now. And let me move the discussion to let's go to the last part of our, last but not the least, I think, to the panel discussion. It's going to be done by, led by our distinguished Toastmaster, Ali Shahbaz Ali. He's with us today. And who is distinguished Toastmaster Ali Shahbaz Ali? I think we all know him for being energetic, for being active, and he is an educator and entrepreneur. He's CEO of Cloud Trek Consultancy and Events Management Research Work, Robotics and Artificial Intelligence. And let's see how one day he would explain to us how emotionally our artificial intelligence would add more to our mental wellness and mental health well-being. He led the largest district in the world in 2016, consisting of 7 countries in the Middle East. And I remember he told us about traveling from one place to another. And if we spin the wheel in his shoes, I believe he will say he would have a helicopter going from one country to another. He had 7 countries in the Middle East, over 360 plus clubs, immediate past region 11, advisor for Middle East, Africa, and Pakistan. Let's all move to our next part, panel discussion with our distinguished Toastmaster, Ali Shahbaz Ali. The floor is yours. Let's all welcome him.
Thank you very much, our wonderful MC, Vidad, and our speakers. They deserve a round of applause once again. It's a pleasure, our speakers today, to shower you with a few questions that I have received from the audience already, and a few questions of my own. Let's see how hybrid I can go with. I'll be calling our speakers to address the questions in no particular order, so it's more fun as told by our speakers. The first question which I see here goes to our speaker Tayyiba. The question is, how can we help others who are depressed take the first step, as it is the most difficult for them? They think they are in their comfort zone and would not easily move. Your comments, Tayyiba, if you want me to repeat, please let me know.
No, I got the question. Thank you so much. The first thing for somebody who's already into a depressed state is change his focus. Let me give you a case that came to me. There was a guy, he failed it in entrance exam, and he prepared very, very hard. For like 2 years, he was preparing for that exam and he failed it in. He was totally heartbroken. So her sister actually came to me. He did not came to me. His sister came to me and she said, he does not talk. He has lost his appetite, sleep. What do I do? I said, see, what has happened has happened. The things that we cannot do anything, and we don't have to beat around the bush. Now the point is, help him see how can I turn this thing around. When he started changing his questions, most of the time we are so much overthinking the question that the question becomes a monster. We have to acknowledge the question, but our 100% of energy should go to the solution. Whatever the thing you're facing, you have to make that person realize that this can be turned around. Is just a thing. And also then you have to help him, you have to change his physiology also. So you have to make him laugh if he's not laughing, even if you have to find him ways to put him in a different state, because it is the state that that is, it's the game of state. If you will sit in a certain state, you will start feeling depressed. But if you sit with those people who are happy, and if you try to make that person in that state, and you condition it on a daily basis, you have to condition it, because as I said, mental wellness is a journey, it's not a destination. Anybody at any point of time can go into a mental illness, but we should all remember there are doors through which you can come out. You just need the right path. I hope I was able to answer.
I'm sure, and I do agree with you. It's all about state of mind, and that's how all the good and evil fits in that big mind of ours. Thank you, Taiba. My next question is for Samira. When talking about a lot of innovations, in my leadership experience, or I would say Toastmasters experience rather, I've seen at times XCOM at the beginning of the year, they come up with a lot of innovative ideas. But somehow, when there is debate on implementation of these ideas, either in the XCOM meetings or when they bring these ideas in a business session to the members, somehow it doesn't match and good ideas down, they die there and it never takes its material form. So could you give us some solution on this, Samira?
We need the cooperation of the members and the XCOM. That is unfortunate, because this is a volunteering position, and we cannot put the officers also, they cannot put our foot down. No, we are going to have a picnic. Come with your mask on. We can't force it down. So what we did in our club is we went through various ideas. For example, we organized a trek. That was last week. Many members were uncomfortable. Those who were comfortable showed up. There was a survey taken. Would you prefer a dinner or a trek? A trek was more favorable because it's outdoor. We can maintain social distancing. But at a dinner, it's not possible to eat alone at 2 meter distance. It's not practical. So it's best to have a survey and a discussion with members, and something for the planning for the nearest future is the best way to go, I feel. Instead of planning for, let's have all these events throughout the year. Instead of that, what is the next 1 month plan? And engage all the members in a survey.
That's awesome, Samira. I would agree with this. And I think we got a great solution for a never-ending problem. A survey is the first thing before we throw all the solutions or innovative ideas on people already. Maybe a survey at the beginning of the term would help. Do you suggest, Samira, we should have this survey somewhere in July itself? Maybe the first 2 weeks of July, we do this survey and later come to them with this club success plan and the ideas. I think that would be appropriate time.
It depends upon the club's strength and the enthusiasm of the members rather. In a club like mine, we are a very small club and a growing club. So if there is an event, maybe a month before, when we have the event planned in our XCOM meeting, that's when we take it to the members. But in a bigger club, a survey at the beginning, maybe. It depends all upon the members.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. Excellent. The next question is for our amazing Wonder Woman, Basha, who came out with so many different costumes, but because I'm a Wonder Woman fan, so I would stick to that. Basha, could you share some, you were talking about recognition in some part of your presentation today. How important is recognition? Any story quickly you want to share with the audience where some recognition, either as if coming from a district director to a member or as a member to member, a life-changing recognition point where a member was really touched can you recall any incident like this?
Thank you, Ali. I have a perfect example for that. And it is at the district level, but it would apply at any level. We had a few years ago, I believe it was my second year in the trio, somebody needed an admin manager, and a member stepped up. I was going to be PQD at that time. The person who was leading the district was unsure. I don't know this person. I don't think they can do the job. What should I do? I said, give them a chance. I will help them. And I know that the outgoing admin manager is a friend who will also support them. This person who stepped in and she was given the role, and then she continued under my first year as admin manager. She was the shy, quiet type who never spoke up in a meeting. She had stepped outside of her comfort zone because her mentor had told her, I think you can do this. And she wasn't sure. By the end of her second year as admin manager, this shy, quiet person couldn't shut up. She grew so much passion. And how did she do that? And she is an area director, and she's also helping out with our training with our PQD this year. Everybody in the district knows who she is. They want her passion. And it all came because somebody took a chance on her. But we didn't just put her in there, we also supported her. And I worked with her, and my recognition to her as she went along was, you're doing a good job. It can be as simple as telling somebody you're doing a good job and offering yourself too. What can I help you to do better? She grew by leaps and bounds because we allowed her to. We gave her that push to do it, but we didn't just say, go from here to here. We helped her in the steps. Now she is probably the most passionate member in our district. She surpasses me. And one of the things we're doing in our district this year is we're awarding superhero medals. We did it last year and we're doing it this year because, as you heard, our theme is around superheroes. So we have people, we have clubs who nominate. They can nominate district officers. They can nominate a member of their club. She was one of our first people to get a superhero medal. But I have also gone around and awarded them to other people. A president of a club that has been struggling and is coming back. And just that simple recognition, and it's a little medal. It cost me a few dollars on Amazon. But it is really helping people to say, you know, I'm appreciated. And when somebody feels appreciated, then they push even further. So that's one of the ways we're doing it. And I have seen amazing results. Anne has gone, like I said, from shy, quiet to now, we're like, Anne, calm down. Everybody does have passion, but it can work.
Great. Thanks, Pasha and audience. That's one story which has touched me, and I'm sure everybody here. Recognition plays a very important role, and you see what wonders it can do. A person who was a shy Toastmaster to where it is now. And one more point which Basha gave us was coming up with such awards, superhero medal. We can do it at a club level, district, but it really makes wonders. I have another question here. Talking to people helps with mental wellness. What is the role Toastmasters can play in this? So talking to people helps with mental wellness. And what is the role Toastmasters can play in this? I repeated the question twice.
Yeah.
So any of the panelists can take it, and probably Taiba spoke about mental wellness. So please do.
Yeah. I think social isolation is one of the phenomena which has become very common these days. So, having such communities, it is a really good idea wherein we connect ourselves with like-minded people who share similar thoughts, ideas, aspirations. It really boosts us as an individual. In fact, I was reading one day, I am writing a book on passionpreneurship, which is basically how you can convert your passion into a venture. In that, I was researching a topic about community building, wherein, the best networking expert in the world, Keith Farazi, says this thing that, any endeavor in life is a human endeavor. So, if you want to do anything, if you want to feel good, you need people. This is like a therapy. When we talk our hearts out, it is a therapy, because all those bottled up emotions, they come out, and once those emotions are out, it's just gone. You're not fretting over something that's just killing you from inside. So I think it is a kind of therapy where you connect with like-minded people. People praise you for what you do, and there are at times people are not praised, and they're not given that kind of care and support. So this is, I think, a great way. It's a great community to boost your mental health as well.
Wonderful. That's another good idea. A club focused on happiness. I know a club coming up today. One of the division directors shared it with me. Club for mothers. A Toastmaster club just for mothers. So a Toastmaster club, which can be kind of a rehab for many people, can surely help, I'm sure. Thank you,
In
Taiba.
fact, just one more thing,
Yeah.
just one last point. You must have heard
Sure.
of an organization called Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yes.
Now, what they do is that is just for alcoholics, but this is an organization which is which welcomes everybody, right? And supports, and there are mentors who provide that kind of care. So I think this is a great place for mental wellness.
Sure. I recall there was clubs in the US. I think one club which was for prisoners. I don't know if that club is still existing, but I think it is still existing. One of my fellow region advisors told me at that time how successful was the idea, and uh, many prisoners took this as an opportunity to speak on their experiences. So yes, such focus clubs do help, obviously. The next question, should all Toastmaster meetings be fun? Could this sometimes be at the expense of seriousness needed for some issues? Should all Toastmasters meetings be fun? Could this be sometimes be at the expense of seriousness needed for some issues? Who wants to take this? Basha, okay, you go ahead.
I will start and then somebody else can chime in, but I want to share.
Sure.
I do believe that all Toastmasters meetings can be fun. Yes, we have serious business, but you can make that serious business be fun. If somebody's given a professional presentation, even a professional presentation should have some kind of fun in it, because that's how people tend to remember. If somebody just stands there and drones on, it's not as memorable, and you want people to remember. So you can put fun in there. An example I can give you: election of officers for your club. Is that serious business? Anybody think so? One of the best meetings and the most I ever laughed was at a club officer election, because we had fun. The 2-minute speeches, while serious, were hilarious. We got a great group together to be our ex-com for the club, but it was the best meeting because everybody enjoyed it. We had people who got up after hearing the person before them speak who was like, oh no, they're wonderful, I love their ideas. And they went complimenting the person before them, like, don't vote for me, vote for them. But it was just fun. So I think you can have fun. You just have to find it and make it.
Great, thanks, Basha.
One thing that I want to add, I saw club dying. You know why? Because it was so serious. The president used to come, she used to just give instructions, and it felt more like a corporate affair rather than this is a community. Toastmasters is a community where we come to share common ideas and bond with each other. We are just not here to work as employees or as managers. So fun is the basic element that's required in the meeting. If it's not there, people will find it elsewhere, as Basha also said.
True. I remember myself when I attended this one club which was so serious, and people told me, Ali, make sure there are no side talks and stuff. So during the business session, I just raised my hand. I was like, I have a business motion. I move that, we laugh for a few minutes. And it just became a fun meeting after that. So yes.
I wanted to add
yes,
in my
Samira.
club, the R counters role. Okay, it's a pretty mundane, boring role. Okay, the speaker had 20 hours, and this one, the R counter. You remember Sian Lia, right, Ali?
Yes, I do.
Leah,
Yes.
yeah, she is one of our common friends. She did such an innovative way. She actually said the way they each person said the ah. Okay, like for example, a Toastmaster Taiba said 20 times. Okay, she even burped 5 times through her speech. Things like that. She made it so fun. I have never laughed for an ah counter report so much. She even included words like the way with the same accent, basically with a head shake. She said that with a head shake.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a very fun thing. But I say, though that it's fun, the professionalism should not be compromised for like time management, respecting the other speakers, stage time, etc. But fun, as Taiba mentioned, it has to be a basic element.
Exactly. I do agree with that. And this is one reason why people, after their busy day at work or some other affairs, they come to Toastmasters meeting. One thing is to learn. The other thing is to get that peace of mind. If we can't give that to the members, then why would they even stay in Toastmasters? So yes, there was this one incident which I would like Pasha to answer. Uh, in a special meeting, what happened was there was a fun quiz going on. There was a member who came in, and she stayed there for a while, not a club member. She was a member for another club in another region. She came in for a while and then she exited. She sent a message to that club or that event chairperson saying that you really wasted my time. I don't like such fun quizzes. So next time, please tell me when you're going to have a serious meeting. How can we address such people who make that judgment so quick and don't give an opportunity for people to explain to them actually what's going on?
I think that is tough. We all go to meetings where it may not fit our personality. Maybe we're more serious or we're more ready to laugh. But reach out to that person. At least they told you why they left. That's a good first step. They let you know. So maybe you do address it up front when you send out an agenda or you advertise your meeting. Let people know that in the middle of the meeting, you're going to play cahoots, if you've ever done that, or you're going to have silly reverse meetings so that people are prepared. We've had people who complain because we have a reverse meeting. They didn't get the point. And if you're a guest, I can get that. You don't know what's going on. But be open and honest up front about what's going to happen. And then reach out to this person and say, hey, sorry you had that experience. We're having a more regular, serious meeting on this date. We'd love you to come back. But also realize your club is not for everybody. If you look, especially if you've belonged or attended more than one club meeting, each club has its own personality. I know Samira is in the UAE. I've attended a lot of meetings in person in the UAE, and each one was different. I enjoyed each one, but I wouldn't necessarily go back to some of them. So realize you have to not take it completely personally. Every club is not for everybody, and each person has to find that fit. So that would be my advice. Be upfront, but don't take it personally if somebody does not fit into your club. Offer another alternative. Hey, there's a club down the Zoom road who doesn't do that. Maybe you want to try to attend there. So that would be my feedback.
Great, wonderful. So always inform your guests well in advance what's going on. And in case they drop in, maybe the president or the chair can take a pause to just explain quickly on what's happening so they are not lost. Since it's already yellow sign from the timer, I'll have to rush, and all four of us have that challenge to answer as many questions as possible. So, apologies in advance if I cannot take your questions because I see quite a few coming to me. How to deal with failure of commitment during the 10-day personal mastery challenge? How to deal with failure of commitment during the 10-day personal mastery challenge? Taiba,
So
please.
you have to take it seriously, but you have to take it with an intent of improvement. You have to remember that you are doing it for yourself and you're improving. It's not like you have to have a very growth mindset towards this. Let's imagine if I failed in the first time. On the fourth or the fifth day, I got really angry and upset and I spoiled my whole mood. So I did it. The purpose of failing you is to condition yourself to the point wherein you become so good at changing your state. It's just like pressing a button, a button in your head. It becomes so automatically. So the more you fail, the more better you would be in that condition to, you would be like more pumped up to do better the next time, because you don't want to do that 10-day challenge again. And the more you do it, I think it would reinforce good things, and it will make positive reinforcement, I think, automatic.
Wow, that's a very good perception. So don't get frustrated and drop the whole project. We can still go back stronger. Great. There's just one question for Samira. At times, when we talk about innovative ideas, there's always some senior member in the club who gets up and say, focus on DCP, please. Do not bring this innovative ideas. In our time, when I shook hands with Dr. Ramsey Smedley, these ideas didn't exist. So how can you bring something so new? Samira.
The senior members, aren't they a joy? Well, we had a senior member in our club, and yes, it was not easy to convince them. But then, they come to the XCOM. Some of them come to the XCOM meetings also uninvited because they have the ancestral authority to attend the meetings. But we as an XCOM, if we take a stand, we explain to them the importance of this and how this will make the club more lively and vigorous and energized. I think they should get the point. We have to put our foot down and tell them kindly that it is going to help the club. Please be with us on this. We need you, and we need the members also. Both of them have to be on board. We don't want to disappoint both of them. Help them get the point.
So wonderful. So probably the XCOM can structure this innovative idea around the DCP where both can be achieved. People can have fun and DCP can be achieved side by side.
DCP will only be there if members are there. Plain.
Wow, that's a punchline here. DCP can be there if only members are there. Thanks everybody. Thanks Amira. Please do note that point. There is one question here in bold. My question is to Basha. How can I plan my busy day with fun as I have very poor planning skills? Yeah.
I think it actually goes back also to the 10-day plan. Look at what little fun you can put in today. Start first thing in the morning. Maybe I wake up. Now I have an Alexa over here that talks to me, and she just woke up when I said her name. I can ask her to tell me a joke in the morning. That can be a simple way to start a day with the fun. Then I put a little bit of fun into my day. Do that for several days. Get into that habit. Then look around as you're doing something during the day. We all get bogged down. But look for another way. Maybe something as simple as, I worked hard on this project, so at lunch, I'm going to have my favorite meal. That puts fun into my day because then it also increases my energy, helps my mental wellness where I feel better, and I'm more likely to want to add more fun. But sometimes it takes little steps. But start it first thing in the morning. That way you don't forget it. If you're going to wait till the end to say, oh, I'm going to do I'm going to watch a funny show on TV, or I'm going to watch a funny movie. We always find excuses not to do it because there's always something. There's family, there's other commitments. So start out in the morning and it will become routine. And if you fall off, just like on the 10 days, start over. But just add it little bits at a time. You can't go full force and just laugh the whole day long.
I do agree with that, Basha. Thanks a lot. One last question to every panelist. Basha, this goes for you again. How to maintain seriousness of learning while having variety?
It all comes down to, obviously, we want to learn and grow as Toastmasters. And there's ways to do it, but you can have fun while you're doing it. As I said, laugh at yourself. If you're not laughing at yourself, then you'll start being paranoid about, is everybody else laughing at me? But add little bits of fun. Take it seriously when you prepare a speech, but have fun doing it because we're going to get better. Some of my worst speeches actually made me laugh when I look back at them. Record yourself and share it with somebody. Record yourself and look back. Look at the evaluation. You can be serious while having fun. That's my philosophy.
Very good. Samira, this one is for you. What's the best way to manage mixture of cultures during joint meetings? What's the best way to manage mixture of cultures during joint meetings?
I had mentioned in my session that I was a role player for a district meeting in India. I think it was District 92. They had a meeting in which all the 20 role players were from 20 different countries. We can have a themed meeting, something like that, a world with no boundaries or something like that. And in fact, I know clubs who make a conscious effort within their ExCom to include members from various cultures. They tell their friends to invite their colleagues, their cousins or relatives. They make a, in fact, when I was a president, we had only 2 female members. And that year, my only goal as a president was we need more female members and we need more international members. And by the end of my term, we managed to add 3 more nationalities. It's not much, but we got somewhere. So I know you can make a conscious effort to include a variety of citizens in your membership base, or have a themed meeting including the world, which is right there in front of our screen now.
Amazing. Thanks a lot, Samira. The last question to Taiba is, do you recommend us to be result oriented or just focus on the work and leave the results to the divine or to the nature or science and technology, whatever? But should we be result oriented or just focus on our work?
I think beliefs play a very important role here. First of all, when we are doing something, we should have a very strong belief that maybe this, if I do something right now, it might not pay right now in this moment, but in the long term, if you see the bigger picture, there's this law of karma. Physics says it. The universe says it that it will pay off. So just be flexible about it. Last year when I lost at the division level, I was so broken. But you know what happened when I was so broken? I started my YouTube channel, and every day I practiced one video every single day. That really helped me talk to so many people. I wrote my book because of that venture, and so many amazing things happened. Had I won that, I would not be doing all these things that I'm doing right now. So I see things in a very different light now. Always remember, you have a vegetable moment. Now, what is a vegetable moment? Let me shed light. You don't like vegetables. No one of us likes vegetables, but they're good for our health. So before having that, yeah. So it's like God, remember that is your vegetable moment. If you're not getting that result before, like the time you're aspiring, maybe your moment is waiting somewhere. You will get that dessert at the perfect time. So have faith and have belief that, your efforts will definitely pay off.
Thank you very much for that answer. And I do know some speech champions. They do, they become result oriented at times and they get frustrated. Thank you. Round of applause for our panelists. You seriously took us through some transformation phase today. I feel different after listening to all three speakers. Over to you, and sorry to the timer, we exceeded by 8 minutes, I suppose. Over to the MC. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for your presentations and for your sharing of questions, and thank each and everyone for his and her own role. You exceeded the time, but we have time. It's now 6:12, and I think the timer would tell us we still have some time, right?
Yes, we still have time, 10 minutes, but I followed the agenda and
Yeah.
put the time accordingly.
Thank you very much for the nice role you did today. And actually, it's really an amazing meeting today. It's one of the best of all these gold meetings. They are all good, but today is really amazing for the creative, the new ideas, for the fun ideas, and above all, for this mental wellness that we should take care of ourselves. And it's all directed to Toastmasters, how we can benefit from these different ideas, creative ideas, fun ideas, self-care, and how we can implement it and benefit from it in our journey as Toastmasters. Now I would like to leave the floor for our he knows himself.
I'm still here.
I'm just teasing you. I'm waiting for you to talk. Okay, so for the director, DTM Khaled Abdullah, the floor is yours. And it's nice smile we have on your face. The floor is yours. And thanks for everyone. Thank for everyone who giving me this chance to be the master of ceremony for today. It's really encouraging for me. And I will thank those hidden soldiers who supported me before being with you today. The floor is yours.
Wow. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Widad, for sailing the ship of today's OiG meeting to its shore. That was really amazing performance for the first time to be an MC. When DTM Farhaz gave your name, I was so eager to see your performance, but to be very frank with you, you honestly exceeded all of my expectation. For a first comer to stand and to be able to do all of that, control the whole meeting, I think, yes, she deserves a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I wouldn't ask you about your expectations. I will keep it aside as we are talking positively today. I expect that they were positive.
No, definitely
Thank
positive.
You very much.
Definitely positive.
Thank you very much.
For anyone who takes a role for the first time, it's somehow you don't, it's difficult, but you made it very smooth. I think it's easy for anyone right now to be an MC after watching you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Widad. And of course, thanks to our timer who was flashing his time toward the end, making sure that we finish on time. So well done, Toastmaster Farouk. And what can I say about immediate past Region 11 advisor? He has been always there. Before even being a Region 11 advisor, he is the backbone of this club and he is an advisor for all of us. So thank you so much, DTM Ali Shahbaz, for controlling the panel so nicely. Now, we go back to the three musketeers, our great speakers today. And for this, if DTM Farhaz can help me with the certificates. First one is Toastmaster Taiba Muhammad. Toastmaster Taiba, thank you so much for coming here today with us and giving us peace of mind, mental wellness. Very nice. I noted so many things. Of course, the 10 days personal mastery challenge and so many things that you said. The emotion, the positive energy that you brought today to the meeting was amazing. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Taiba, for being here with us. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure. It was my pleasure being with all of you.
We were honored. Next in line wow, DTM Samira Khan. What can I say about DTM Samira Khan? I remember the last time I was with her in the car, taking her to the airport when she was there. A small world. We never thought that we would meet again in Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster Club. So thank you so much, DTM Samira Khan, for livening up our meetings. Now I know that the Vice President of Education and Vice President of PR are really in trouble. I'll be really chasing them. I've been noting so many things here: Joke Master, Quiz Master, idioms for the Word Master, spinning the wheel. By the way, I have a table topic session coming in another half an hour. I thought of doing it the normal way, but now wheels of names. That's one thing I will take with me to the next meeting. So thank you so much to DTM Samira Khan. Moving to the last, but definitely not the least, speaker. All the way from US, DTM Basha. Thank you so much, DTM Basha, for being here today with us, for sharing such fun meetings. Now, there's something that I need to admit. One of your crazy ideas about wearing just formal from the top, I honestly did it in a formal meeting at work. Don't tell me why. It was really fun, but I don't want to talk about the names that they were there at the meeting, but they are all high top management in my company. But it was really fun to be relaxed. You're there and at home and doing it that way. So, well, yeah, thank you so much. We will definitely implement, not this one, but the other things, the face mask, face off, icebreaker, speaker tone. I think that's really brilliant. We would definitely do that. And while you were giving all of those ideas, I thought also of Majlis meeting. We have Majlis here in this part of the world, which is just a place where everyone can chit chat and maybe drink, not the normal coffee, but the Arabic coffee, Gahwa coffee. So we can also do this. It's amazing. So thank you so much, DTM Basha, for enriching our meeting. And thanks to all the soldiers behind the scenes. See, one of the soldiers is already wearing the mask. DTM Farhaz Farouk and DTM Zahra. Smile. Yes, smile. Definitely. We would be smiling for long if you keep this on your face. And DTM Zahra, I know that you've been not feeling well. I hope that you are feeling well now. Thank you also for joining us, regardless of your condition. So she deserves a round of applause. Okay, DTM Farhaz, you confused me. You have two connections here. But all of the members,
one of them is the certificate giver. The other one is the real me.
Okay. Well, thank you all for being here with us. Please, guests, don't leave. We would love to have a group photo. And if we can do this, we could have done that when we had like over 30 attendees, but let's just do it now before we close the meeting. So whoever can switch on his or her camera, please do. Toastmaster Rashid, if you can. If not, I would really love to hear from you later on.
I will try, actually.
Okay. There you go. So who's clicking? DTM Zahra, yeah. Face off, okay. So DTM Zahra, would you be counting down, counting up? Great. Thank you so much, everyone. This is not really a formal meeting, so there is nothing to be adjourned, but this meeting is called